Welcome to the Verdant Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Vernon, with my guy, G Sports. Look, we ended 8-4. It's not how you wanted to end the season, but a 37-17 victory, you'll take it nonetheless. I mean, they've been stacking momentum, adding days, doing what they have to do. There was a variety of things that happened in today's game. I mean, if you look at the receiving statistics, you got Josh Williams and Caden Durham as the LSU's two leaders tonight in catches. And then when you look at Garrett Nussmeier's statistics, he kept it clean, no interceptions, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that's what we were kind of preaching. You got to keep the ball on the offense. You can't give Oklahoma plenty of opportunities to be able to score, and I think the offense held their own tonight. Really, I feel like, you could kind of talk about a bunch of narratives. You could talk about the three-way tie in the SEC and how LSU could have punched their ticket to Atlanta. You could talk about, even the fact that Garrett Nussmeier went down, A.J. Swan came in, and for most of the season, it was Ricky Collins as QB2. And I mean, I'm not too sure why. I'm not too sure if it's maybe to sample your quarterback room to see what you got going forward. But, G, how are you feeling about this game, and what's your overall assessment of 2024?
Of course, the standard is the standard at LSU, and you always want to be in the mix for, to get to the national championship or at least be in the SEC championship. They had 3 games this year that they lost that I thought it could have very well went the other way. The USC game, the A&M game, and the Florida game. The Bama game, I thought that was a loss that they just was outmatched. And they just didn't come to play that game. But those other 3, man, it could have very well been a different outcome, and LSU could be at the top of the SEC right now. But it is what it is. Just like Coach Kelly said, he was happy to see his team bounce back and respond from the 3-game losing streak and beat a Vanderbilt team that wasn't a typical Vanderbilt team that we're used to seeing in the past, and come beat the Oklahoma team who just came off a big win against Alabama last week. Shout out to Garrett Nussmeier for showing some grit and some toughness, man, because if he doesn't come back in that game, I don't know how this game goes, because A.J. Swan did not look like he was ready to play when they inserted him into the lineup. So, big kudos to Garrett Nussmeier to come back and try to will this team to victory. Chris Hilton, it's just too bad that Chris and Garrett couldn't have that chemistry going back all the way to the A&M game. If they was hooking up like that, no telling how those 3 games would have went that they lost, man. But that's some momentum going into the off season. They probably giving Chris Hilton the confidence that he needs to have that mindset that he could be one of the best receivers in the SEC next year. So I was happy to see that. Happy to see my dude Kyron Lacy, man. His last game at Tiger Stadium, getting the end zone, end of the game with 41 yards. Aaron Anderson with the kickoff return.
Electric.
Yeah, Brian Kelly said in the press conference, he is their backup kickoff returner, and he said, how smart are they? He said that sarcastically, but I think next year you will see Aaron Anderson doing more return specialist, being more of a return specialist, added on to his receiver duties, man, because he's that dynamic. I think Aaron Anderson is one of those players on this team that, coming into the preseason polls and coming into the season, you're going to see a lot of different people saying that he has a chance to be a first-round pick. I think he's that good. I kind of compare him to Isaiah Bond, the receiver from Texas. Same kind of build, same dynamic, same explosiveness. And so I'm just happy to see Aaron gaining that confidence, man, because last year, a lot of people was kind of writing him off when they didn't see him playing at the level they expected him to. And so that was big. Shout out to the defense too, man, holding that Oklahoma team to 17 points tonight. And then, like Brian Kelly said, man, they played 6 true freshmen on defense tonight. And that got to be encouraging, going into the offseason.
Yeah, and let's look at those defensive numbers real quick. Devon Keys, 10 tackles. Whit Weeks, 15 tackles. I mean, just going forward, yeah, you're going to lose Greg Penn. You're going to lose Braden Swinson, Savion Jones, Zy Alexander. But, I mean, I think you're going to return a lot of pieces that are going to shock people. I mean, look at Whit Weeks and what he's done and how he's grown. I mean, if you push him into a role where he's the guy, I think you got a whole different situation on your hands. Jacoby Guillory's coming back. Now, I got 2 questions for you. I mean, I don't know if these players are going to come back, but I think you might be able to have a little bit of a chance to kind of, I'm not going to say pitch it and sell LSU to them, but, I mean, Harold Perkins, I think, it's a kind of a coin flip in my book. And I don't think this one's a coin flip. I feel like Mason Taylor's pretty locked to go. But at the end of the day, do you think they can somehow get him to return how valuable he's been to this offense, and just like if he can come back one more year and boost his stock to a first rounder? Has he locked that first round potential yet? I think he's got it in him, but I don't know if he's hit it yet. I mean, it sounds crazy to say. He's done everything over here, but what do you think? Can he come back?
As it pertains to Mason Taylor, coming from the background of his daddy, Jason Taylor, who was one of the best linebackers in the league when he played for the Miami Dolphins, he's going to get sound advice. He's not going to make an emotional decision. And so, I wouldn't be surprised that Mason Taylor said he's coming back to try to boost his draft stock. Right now, for what I'm hearing from the different scouts that I've talked to throughout the course of the season, a lot of people had him going second or third round. And so that, the things could change, though. Things could change depending on, who decides to come out for the draft, who decides to come back. A lot of things could change in his next month and a half, depending on how he tests. If I had to guess, though, I think he would be for sure a lock, at least a second-round pick. I think Mason Taylor is that good. He handles himself like a pro. He gets separation. He can block. He got good size. So I can see him being a second-round pick for sure.
What about Harold Perkins?
Harold Perkins, I think Harold Perkins comes back. From my sources that I'm hearing from, they're saying that it's a good chance Harold will come back. I think that him and Blake Baker has a really, really good relationship. You can tell that they was creating that bond all the way going back to fall camp. It was just unfortunate he got hurt early in the season. And so, I think it could have been a blessing in disguise, getting more comfortable under Blake's scheme and understanding that linebacker role. And I think, going into next year, Perk could come into next season as one of the best players in the country on defense. And so, I anticipate that he will come back.
Lastly, before we get out of here, DJ Pickett came in. I feel like, it had a pretty good visit. They had Patrick Peterson come once again. And there was a lot of murmurs this week about Jakeem Stewart potentially showing up. And then you see the tweet last second, he's chilling at home watching college football. What are you hearing from DJ Pickett, or just, how are you feeling about that? Is he going to be able to keep his commitment at least? Is LSU going to have a little bit of trouble with that one?
I think DJ Pickett is for sure a lock. But you never know until that paper come through that fax machine. I'm hearing Florida and Georgia is trying to flip him at the last minute, but Corey Raymond and Blake and Coach Kelly and those guys and Jordan Asamoah, guys like that are working around the clock to make sure that they keep him locked in. Because look, DJ Pickett is a hell of a talent. Some people have told me they're comparing him to Pat Surtain Jr. He definitely has the size. Watching his film, he definitely has some high level ability. I can see him coming in as a true freshman and playing having significant time, even having a chance to start. I think he's that good, especially with that length and that athleticism. So, and Jakeem Stewart, they got their work cut out for him too, man. I'm hearing that Oregon is the front runner right now. That could change. I heard Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike, is getting heavily involved with that. And so when you're going against somebody that's dealing with the head man at Nike, you got your work cut out for you. So I think Ty Greaves and all these guys in Louisiana, man, they're going to have to get that NIL on point and get Jakeem, try to get him locked in, man, for signing day.
Yeah, kind of a last-minute curveball, because I was feeling good. I was like, all right, the last visit he's going to take more than likely.
Yeah, he was supposed to go to Ohio State today, and he canceled. So that's a good sign too. So for what that's worth, I think it's going to come down to Oregon and LSU. One more fun fact that I'm hearing. Don't be surprised if the right tackle, Emory Jones, decides to come back for another year. Don't be surprised if he decides to come back for another year. I'm hearing that he wants to come back. I'm hearing that he wants to, solidify himself as a top 15, top 20 pick. I know before the season people were saying he was going to be a first-round pick. But then toward the end of the season, I'm starting to hear that he could fall to the second or third round. And so we'll see. If they get Emory Jones back, I think that'll be huge for that offensive line and just adding another veteran to that group. Especially with Will Campbell and Dellinger and Frazier leaving. Exactly.
You got pretty much 4 out of your 5 guys leaving if Jones goes. That's going to be one of those type of turnaravs that you're going to be cringing at. I think. So I think that'll solidify this.
And I think it was a blessing in disguise that Tyree Adams and Mbinga, they got some time this year. So if those guys are inserted into the lineup next year, they have some experience, especially in SEC play.
I think so. Well, I appreciate your time, G. I'm going to be keeping up with the college football season. I know LSU got 1 game left. They're going to have a bowl game. It's probably going to be the damn Baked Beans Bowl or something. Ain't going to be nothing too entertaining.
And I'm curious to see what players are going to opt out and not play, and what players are going to opt in and play. That's going to be interesting to see too. And some of these young guys that didn't play.
The telltale sign. We're going to be breaking it all down for you and keeping up with the latest LSU news. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good night.